So game 1 was an intense 20-minute brawl between these two, both trading some heavy punches. But eventually, some burrowed roaches sneaking by were able to tip the tides. This is game number 2 though. It's Overgrowth. I'm of course Madals, and spawning to the top right hand position, we've got the red Zerg representing E-Stars. It is WaKa. And his opponent down to the bottom left, the green Zerg up 1 game, representing RB Pro. It is HaNfy. So what does HaNfy have planned? He played game number 1 absolutely beautifully. Can't deny that for a second. But WaKa, he wasn't too far behind. He was really keeping up in that game, getting some good damage down, taking some really nice trades. He needs to bring it back in this game. If he loses here, he will be eliminated from this tournament. Well, he won't be eliminated, he'll come second, because it's the finals, Madals. Get this straight. My brain is trying to turn to mush a little bit. I was LAN casting at the weekend. I've had a busy week. My brain is just kind of dribbling a bit out my nose. It's not too painful. It's fine. Anyway, Drone. Hi, Drone. What are you doing? Got my hatchery. Do it. There we go. So, hatch first from both players. Both looking to macro it up. I was kind of thinking that HaNfy may decide to go really aggressive. Reason being is that he did in game number 2 of his semi-final. Was it game number 2 or was it game number 3? One of them. Definitely. It wasn't game number 1. So, neither going to go really aggressive here. Both going hatch into pool. Gas coming down for WaKa. HaNfy not going for the gas this game. So, HaNfy has really shown that he's not too bothered about getting that gas down too early. Not looking to go for Banelings or for Zergling speed. It'll be interesting to see what WaKa does. He opened this way in game number 1. Didn't actually use the speed for anything, which I thought was quite interesting. He opened actually identical in game number 1. The speed was purely there to be defensive. He didn't really make many Zerglings. He wasn't really trying to punish anything. He was just chilling back at home. So we'll wait to see if he does anything more with that. But for the moment, just sending in that Overlord, chilling on through. There's the spawning pool all finished up. Extractor is mining away happily. As always, keeping an eye on whether the drones stay in the gas, whether some get pulled out. Because if we see a couple get pulled, then it's probably not going to be Banelings. If we see all 3 stay in, it probably will be Banelings. It's quite simple like that in ZvZ. You can read a lot if you know what you're looking for. Anyway, pulling back now, the Overlord just getting a little peek going, yes, you have no gases. I know I am safe there. Drone's getting pulled out, so it could either be a lot of speedlings or just that safe defensive speed again. Meanwhile, HaNfy, what's he doing? Picking off an Overlord, or attempting to. He shouldn't be able to get this. I think the Overlord can get away from here. Although a second Queen actually coming on forward, so maybe it can't. I genuinely don't know. Attempting to get away. No, it can't get away now. That's going to be a dead Overlord. The Queen chasing. Dead Overlord. Supply blocking WaKa. WaKa already starting another one up, but that's annoying. This early supply block is so frustrating to deal with. It just does your head in because, especially in the early game, getting a supply block like this will start affecting the drone count. It's going to mean that you're banking up lava you don't really want to be. Of course, preventing further lava production. So it actually directly hurts your production long term as well. It's not like you can catch up from it. Also means you're down in the drones for a couple of short seconds, but again, you don't really want that. WaKa though, using some of those minerals he banked up to take a 3rd base nice and early. That came down just before the 6-minute mark. Meanwhile, double Evo and a Roach Warren. HaNfy going for the wall off at the front, making sure that he's nice and safe. More gases being taken by WaKa here as well. Going up to 3 gases. If we see a 4th, could be Mutalisk. If we see it stays on 3, it's probably going to be a Roach heavy composition like we saw last game. HaNfy on the other hand, he's gone up to 4. Now, this is interesting because he does have the Roach Warren, but it could be Mutalisks. Generally, if you're on 2 bases with 4 gases, it's going to be Mutas. You only need the 3 if you're going to be going for Roaches with +1 on Roach speed. So, I'm curious to see what we get down from HaNfy. WaKa just takes a little peek in, goes and takes a look and goes, okay, what's going on here? Meanwhile, He's got his third. The third base is nearly finished. HaNfy can't see it. He hasn't got vision of it. Doesn't know about it. That in itself is a little bit of a problem. All 4 gases down for WaKa as well now. So he could be going straight up into Mutalisks. This could be Muta on Muta. Interesting map for it. In terms of how it will go, well, while they're both on 4 gases, it will be pretty similar. HaNfy's not going to be going for that, though. He's gone for the +1 melee attack. Alright. That is very interesting. Like, exceptionally interesting. +1 melee attack is very rarely seen in ZvZ. Basically, getting down the +1 means that you're going to be going quite Ling heavy. That is a really interesting choice, going for that +1 now. A lot more speedlings coming on through. Spire, as expected, coming down by WaKa. What is the 4th gas for? What's he got planned with this? There's no bailing this. Okay, Spire's coming down anyway. He's going for a lot of Ling pressure on the ground. Okay, I like that. Just ties up a bit of the gas. Means you're going to get less Mutalisks, but your Lings are going to be so much stronger, so you can apply a lot more map presence through this. I don't understand if it was started sooner, but the time it was started at is very odd. It's not going to be done in time for anything too helpful. Anyway, WaKa adding in the 1-1 then. Ling's there now as well. Both players poking away quite happily. Transfuse being used on that Spine Caller, just trying to make sure that it does stay up. Still got a decent amount of energy on that Queen, so that's why the Ling's backed away. More Lings coming down from WaKa at the moment. Ideally, he'd want to cancel that third, but he's not going to be able to easily now. Do have a lot of speedlings out. The 1-1 is a long way ahead for the Lings of HaNfy. But the Spire is quite a way ahead for WaKa. WaKa can get... Actually, not many. He's mineral blocked. He doesn't have enough minerals to make any Mutalisks, which is a bit of a problem. Speedlings streaming in as well. HaNfy is going to be able to do a lot of damage here. He splits the Speedlings beautifully. This means some guaranteed damage going to come on through. Quite a few drones could get taken down. Some Queens getting picked off as well. The 1-1 not yet kicking in. So once that 1-1 kicks in, it would be useful. I don't think it's going to be done in time for this particular fight. Quite a few drones getting taken down. Not the end of the world, but just a couple picked on off. The Spire, of course, seen. 1-1 is now finished for HaNfy, but overwhelming numbers. 13 workers were still killed, though. More Lings coming on forward. The Mutalisk flock, a single Mutalisk advantage actually coming down for HaNfy here. Or at least it was when I took a quick glance. Lings coming through, focusing the Queens. Picking off Queens is always going to be nice. That actually is all of the Queens now dead for WaKa. That means he's hurting for injects. He doesn't have as many lava available. His production therefore lower. 11 Mutalisks to 10. +1. Carapace coming on down. Still trying to keep a good little look. The Mutalisks actually out on the field here do favor WaKa. That's why we're seeing these pull back. Could actually turn and fight now. If he realizes he could turn and fight and pick off 2 Mutalisks for free, that'd be huge. Turn and fight! You could definitely turn and fight there. Okay. Couple of Overlords getting taken down. WaKa pulling back. Got another Zergling run by now coming out. This time from WaKa. Doing less damage though. HaNfy gets quite a heavily supply blocked. That is hugely frustrating for him. And could be a bit of a problem. 11 Mutalisks to 11 Mutalisks. The +1 Carapace upgrade massively ahead for WaKa at the moment. Still checking around. HaNfy adding in Spore Caller just to make sure he's a bit safer. Bold times. There was an engagement down in the next sort of minute on these Mutas. It will massively favor WaKa as long as all the other conditions are the same. Because that +1 Flyer Armor. Flyer Armor, of course, means that the Bouncing Glaives deal a lot less damage. Fight on the ground coming on through. If the ground fight's won, it does soak up some of the Bouncing Glaive damage, but already we see this start going. HaNfy needs to keep his Zerglings on the ground. I don't know if it's going to make enough of a difference, though. It won't. A lot of Mutalisks getting taken down, 6 compared to 7. HaNfy only losing 1 more so far this game, but the numbers really in WaKa's favor. These Speedlings, though, being a bit irritating, trying to pick off a couple more drones, are doing a nice job of this, actually. Trying to split some up, trying to send them everywhere. Third base has actually been ransacked, 24 workers killed. That is really good. Importantly, these gases not mining at the moment, while they are for HaNfy, and these gases really are critical. In Muta on Muta, the gas income pretty much makes the biggest difference overall. It's how many Mutalisks you can get out. That will always be your limiting factor when you're on 3 bases, going for a lot of Mutalisks, which costs 100. +2 flyer attack coming through from WaKa, but from HaNfy the +1 attack. Now, the +2 carapace is better, but it takes an extra 30 seconds. That's basically it. That is literally it. In comes now a couple more of these Mutalisks, just waiting patiently. The Mutalisks count 19 to 22 now in HaNfy's favor. That's where that drone count really started to make a difference. Just a couple of seconds of it can really start to swing things in your favor. HaNfy's still got a decent amount of gas banked up as well. He needs to spend that on some Mutalisks. He can afford to. He's got a little bit of a supply block though. That's frustrating for him. Checking around. You look at the timing of this, it is 79 to 91. So only about 20-second advantage for the Mutalisks on HaNfy's side. Both players still attempting to find somewhere to trade. Mutalisk flock is in favor of WaKa. This isn't a trade that HaNfy wants to go for, but he's going for it. I don't think he's realized that he's down in the Mutalisk numbers. On the ground, he's also losing. So that means the WaKa will soak up some of these bouncing glaives. He's going to lose this very substantially. Backing out now. But again, he loses just a couple more Mutalisks. He can't afford to be doing that. The work count is in WaKa's favor as well again. This is very tense times. WaKa is ahead at this stage. The +2 carapace is nearly done. He's up by 2 Mutalisks. He's up by 10 workers as well as a counterattack comes on through here. WaKa is in a beautiful position. There's one Spore defending the main. Should force those Mutalisks away. Spore's 3-shot Mutalisks. So that hurts a lot. +2 carapace for the Mutalisks are about to kick in. Still got about 20 or 10 seconds. Fight came down now, it would be close. But once that +2 kicks in, especially the Muta numbers advantage over on WaKa's side. Actually, no, the Mutalisks are level. Where's the gas going for WaKa? Where would he spend that? Okay, he's getting the +1 attack. This is going to be some very interesting scenarios coming up. Neither player really pulling massively ahead. I still think WaKa is just fractionally ahead. And that is due to the fact that he's got the +2 carapace, which is a superior upgrade in Muta on Muta. In we go now. Going to get that trade on the ground. Both players are engaging. The Mutalisk numbers are very, very similar. But remember, that +1 air attack is there. There's nothing on the ground to soak up some of the bouncing glaives. That means that this should go in favor of WaKa. He's going to be able to force this back. A couple of lings trying to counterattack, trying to get in there. Resources lost is nigh on identical. The Mutalisk lost, just a couple difference. Still such a close game. A 4th base trying to come on down for HaNfy. If he can secure that, it would be a big advantage for him. No sign of a 4th yet from WaKa, although I think he was about to attempt one. Mutalisk flock 24 to 21. We're 18 minutes into the game, and it's 1 up for HaNfy. If he wins this, he wins tonight's go for SC2. WaKa discovers the 4th base. He's also pushing through the Mutalisks. He's up. Well, actually, he's level on the Mutalisk count, but remember, he's got superior upgrades. Going for a trade now. The Queens on the ground will actually help make a difference. The transfuses could be all important. Needs to spend them, but doesn't. The Mutalisk flocks engaging 15 on both sides. A couple of lings underneath the army. Defender's advantage, helping HaNfy take a nicer trade there, as well as those Queens really doing actually quite a lot. Still losing 3 more Mutalisks compared to his opponent, but he keeps his 4th base up. It's ahead of his opponents. Needs to start mining these gases. Needs to start spending his gas actually on more Mutalisks. You can never get too many Mutalisks. He's also going for the +2 flyer attack, which is interesting, rather than +2 flyer armor. Going for another trade. Mutalisk on Mutalisk, 19 to 14. WaKa has got the numbers advantage. He's got the ground advantage as well. This is going to be quite a big defeat for HaNfy, and I think he's lost it now. Losing those Mutalisks, he's fighting to the bitter end. He knows that there's nowhere really to retreat to. Sees more reinforcements coming on through. HaNfy and WaKa both fighting till the bitter end. But I just don't see anything HaNfy can do. He's down by too much supply. The Mutalisk flock vastly in favor of WaKa. +2 flyer attacks about to kick in. Maybe he can hold off for a bit longer. Going to be going for this fight. The Mutalisks 10 to 15. The numbers actually here are still very substantial as well. Down go the Mutalisks for HaNfy. And with it, WaKa gets the GG. He levels out this series 1-1. And that means we're going to the ace game.